And it may be cold outside, but at least Florida isn't bringing in that early snow like the other parts of the country. Now the National Weather Service reports that this Arctic outbreak is bringing in those January temperatures in the early month of November. Barclays Natural Resource Investment says that the average American spends about $2,600 on gas a year. So with that 20% drop that happened in June on gas prices, well, that already saved the average person $520. Some may see the library as a safe haven, but it wasn't so safe last night. A shooting took place here at Stroger Library at Florida State University. FSU grad Myron May opened fire, injuring 2 students and 1 employee. But let's take a look at it like this. I'm standing in this ditch on Putnam Drive, and many other residents in the area say the flooding here is very horrific. This old electric building is turning into a family American restaurant called the Edison. Now the naming of this restaurant pays homage to the great late inventor Thomas Edison. This restaurant will open in the fall and is located right here in Cascade Park. For News 20 at 5, I'm Brittany Collins. Florida State's Provost Garnett Stokes is saying goodbye to Garnet and Gold, and she's moving on to Missouri. She just accepted the provost position at the University of Missouri after being at FSU for more than 3 years. A deadly shootout caused a deputy to go down. The gunshots were alarming to the peaceful neighborhood of Plantation Woods, where many residents woke up to a nightmare.
I was actually terrified at the beginning when I heard the gunshots. I didn't really know what to do, so I just, when I saw the shooter come and start shooting at Mr. Angulo, I just started screaming.
Scott Angulo is a Tallahassee Police Department officer who lives in the neighborhood. He fired the fatal shots that killed the suspect. Leon County Sheriff Office officials say the suspect, identified as Curtis Hawley, had harsh feelings toward law enforcement that caused him to plan the attack.
We have information that we have received that this person was anti-government, was anti-establishment, and was had discussed at some point in time planning to harm law enforcement.
The ambush began with a neighbor calling 911 to report the fire coming from the gunman's house. When Deputy Smith and Deputy Colin Wolfico arrived, they were met with gunshots, leaving Smith dead and Wolfico wounded.
These first responders performed their duties bravely, with courage, and with honor.
The Leon County Sheriff Office says the investigation is ongoing and more information will be released after clarification. Most of our prescribed medicine comes from the local drugstore. But if the Florida Medical Marijuana Act is passed, then patients aren't allowed to pick up their medicine from the pharmacist, according to the proposed bill. Tallahassee's local pharmacist Danny Jackson believes pharmacists should be involved with the way medical marijuana is distributed.
Our job is to regulate the use of those drugs that are highly addictive so that they can be used properly for certain medical conditions.
The Florida Medical Marijuana Act states that each county in Florida will decide how many licensed dispensaries they'll have. So this means a licensed provider will hand out the drug. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration has medical marijuana listed as a Schedule I drug. And those types of drugs aren't found on a pharmacy shelf like this because pharmacists aren't allowed to distribute Schedule I drugs. Florida Senator Jeff Brandes, who proposed the bill, explains how the cannabis will be prescribed.
They would have medical cannabis, and they would have it in edible form, they would have it in an oil form, under mine they could potentially have it in a smokable form. Those would all be available at the retail facility, and that's all that's available at that facility. And if this bill is passed, medical marijuana will start to be distributed in July 2016. For News 20 at 5, I'm Brittany Collins. Since 1989, Leon County has thrived because a penny was taken out of the sales tax. The penny sales tax extension allows parks to be built and roads to be fixed. But residents say this extension should impact all Leon County communities.
They need to kind of address this side of town, not just the rich folks out of town.
Some Leon County residents believe this extension is a waste of money, but others want the drainage issues fixed in the Town South Shopping Center and more Star Metro bus routes. But let's take a look at it like this. I'm standing in this ditch on Putnam Drive, and many other residents in the area say the flooding here is very horrific. And because there are no sidewalks, this can be a safety hazard for children, especially the ones who walk on these narrow roads. But there are plans for the improvement of lower class communities in Leon County.
So we set aside $50 million to help complete the sidewalk network, improve bike lanes, develop our greenways packages.
If the penny sales tax is extended for another 20 years, it'll generate around $756 million. Reported in Tallahassee, I am Brittany Collins for the Election Night Special 2014.